been going back and forth about creating a video about this, but I just think that it just would be helpful to someone in the future. Maybe I won't put it up, maybe I will, but I got my notes here. Let's talk about it. I lost my job. The job that I loved, that was honestly a dream at the startup that I was working at, and the Web3 Metaverse. I've been there for a little bit over 2 years and absolutely loved it. And it was very sudden. And yeah, it sucks. It's been about a month since I lost it. And I have been trying to figure out what I'm going to do next since that has happened. It's not the end of the world, quite honestly. It's not the end of the world. And I've been here before. I've worked for startups before. This is probably the 4th startup that I've worked for. And so thankfully, I kind of already know what I need to do and I've already started doing those things, but it still kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. So first and foremost, as I mentioned, absolutely loved my job. I was a senior partnerships manager, started out as a project manager there, and I worked with some incredible brands such as NFLPA, Susan G. Komen, UNICEF. It was incredible. I was also working in a brand new emerging technology, which is NFTs. There was a huge NFT boom, as everybody and their mama knows. And I learned all about the Web3 cryptocurrency NFT space. I still believe in the future of this technology in this space. And I'm so thankful that I got to work in this emerging technology, because now I can bring it into the next phase of my life. The role is also great because I have so much autonomy and so much capability to lead and provide my own insight and opinion to the organization and where it was going and where it was moving. And honestly, they just trusted me, and I'm just wholeheartedly thankful and eternally thankful for that, because it allowed me to grow as a person. So it's, again, super sad. I'm not even gonna say it's bittersweet, it's bitter, because I truly and genuinely love this job, but you know, everything comes to an end and it's time to move forward to the next thing. But what is the next thing? As I mentioned before, I've worked for 4 other startups, and when you work for a startup, you have to have in mind that these things can happen. I mean, it's not an established corporation that's been around for years like Coca-Cola or Target or Walmart. It's fresh and new and it's emerging. So things can change like the wind, and you have to recognize that might happen. But you also want to take the opportunity to ride that wave and try new things and put yourself out there, and that's exactly what I did in that role. Additionally, going into this, I kind of always knew something like this could possibly happen. I'm thankful that we're in a place where I'm thankful that my household with my husband, we're in a place where he has a really solid career that's not as volatile or volatile rather, and therefore I could take this leap of faith and ride this wave. I recognize wholeheartedly that is a privilege, that everyone doesn't have that privilege to have someone who, to have dual income, honestly, is a huge privilege. So I totally recognize that. But here's my plan on moving forward. I've been applying to jobs like crazy. I am on LinkedIn. I've uploaded to LinkedIn Premium. It's totally worth it, I think, because it gives you such insight into the job that you're applying for. But I am totally taking full-fledged opportunity of that platform, and so far it's been great because I've been able to build some connections, and again, just the visibility you get with it has been super cool. So daily I check in on LinkedIn, look for jobs, and it makes it really easy to apply and find aligned opportunities. I'm also not going to lose my mind about applying. These days, applying for jobs is kind of insane because they have you doing so many things virtually first. So I've done virtual interviews. I filled out questionnaires where honestly a lot of those questions could be done during an interview where they could ask me the questions and I could speak to it right off the top of my brain. I get why people are doing it because it helps filter people out, but it also takes away so much of like the personal aspect of figuring out, you know, am I aligned for the opportunity? But then also like, do I want to work for you? That's the only thing I'm not really crazy about in this new era of applying for jobs. And then there's AI. I mean, AI has been, there's algorithms that are helping these employers figure out, do you match the criteria based off of certain keywords on your resume? So that's also been interesting. I have multiple resumes to help with that because there are different roles that I definitely qualify for. Finding a job is like having a job, honestly. Also, in the meantime, I am shifting my social media business. I have been a coach before. I've also been an influencer. I am working on multiple brand deals as we speak, and that's a lot of fun, but I'm making sure that they're all aligned opportunities. I'm also opening my books for coaching again. I call it more mentoring because it's an icky word for me. Coaching is. That's a whole other story, which I could go into as well. But it's been really fun to reconnect with my community and helping them in terms of content creation and talking to them about their goals and their branding and marketing their brands and growing them. So I've been excited to tap back into that. And now that I have all this experience working with other partners and brands from a different point of view, I'm able to leverage that experience with my clients as well, which I love. I'm also just taking calculated risk. This is a perfect time to experiment, quite honestly. What I mean by that is that every opportunity just may not be worthy for me to do. There's so many things I could do on social media, so many platforms I could play with, and every platform's not going to be for me. Everything that's available just doesn't always make sense and is aligned to the lifestyle that I want to lead. And I also just have to keep in mind eventually when I have a job again, so it has to be reasonable whatever I take on and decide to do. So doing this podcast, for instance, or any of the content that I start creating on an ongoing basis, it has to be sustainable and realistic when I do have a full-time job again. But I'm trying things. I'm having fun with my email list. You should definitely sign up for it, by the way, because I drop some more tips in that each week. But I'm just finding different ways to connect with my community and playing around with all types of different content, dancing, being silly, being raw, being all over the place. This is a great time for me to be doing that. So I'm taking full opportunity of it. And additionally, I am also just trying to save and be very careful about spending as much as I can. I mean, it kind of goes without saying, when you don't have income or the same amount of income coming in, you kind of need to reduce expenses. So definitely doing that and cooking more. I'm using that as content and just having fun, experimenting and playing around in the kitchen. It's something that I really love doing, and it's been a great way for us to save money, but also dual purpose, create content. I'm also taking this time to chill and reconnect. The chill piece being, I get some time to myself and to think about the things that I actually want versus having to think about someone else's company and their brand and their opportunities. And I'll definitely be doing that again, and I look forward to being a part of a team that's working towards a greater goal. That's something that I definitely desire, but it's kind of nice just to be able to think about my family and what our needs are first and forefront right now, and not have something else lingering in the background. So I'm definitely using that. And then also just taking some time for myself and work on myself, working on just making my body stronger, my mind stronger, testing things, trying things. Also doing lots of reconnecting, reaching out to friends and family that honestly, I've not been the best friend in the world, but reconnecting with those who've just been there for me as my day ones, and seeing them in real life, having coffee chats, going out to eat, or having them over, and just having these real intimate and intentional moments that I've missed because I've just, again, been all in on a different role and a different season of my life. So it's been really kind of nice to reestablish those relationships and reconnect and it's allowed me to tap back into the things that really matter for me. It's allowed me to nurture my home, do some things around the house, which again also is content, and fix things, work on things, allow me to use my brain in a whole different way, which again, since I don't have this other role in my life just lingering in the background that I'm always worried about. Quite honestly, this moment's just allowed me to practice so much gratitude. I'm so thankful with that role and all the things that it provided for me and allowed me to become. But I'm also thankful the chapter is over because there's so much on the other side of this. Definitely it may not be perfect and seamless to get to that other side. Totally realistic of that. I mean, your girl's cried a lot. I'm not gonna lie. And I've had some ebbs and flows. I've been riding the roller coaster of emotions about it, but it's just made me realize that I am so much more than a title and a job. Like there's so many other aspects of me than a 9-to-5. And to re-tap into that is just such a great opportunity. And I'm just honestly thankful that I can have this moment of peace, this pocket of peace to reflect and to have this gratitude, because I know so many others may not be able to have it. And again, I know it's definitely a level of privilege. I've worked hard for this privilege. I'm not gonna knock that. But I want to, what's the word that I look for? I want to ensure that I don't take this moment for granted. I don't want to look back after I do get a job and say, damn, I wish I would have slowed down more or would have chilled more or connected more or whatever, called this person. I want to be able to reflect over this time and say, you know what, I definitely took advantage of it. If you recently lost your job or find yourself in a shift, I just want you to remember that this doesn't define you. It's temporary. It's just a moment. And I am relishing it as much as I can. I submit to you to do the same thing and know that there's just so much more on the other side of this for you to connect to. There's one more thing I wanted to say. I put this on my phone. Losing a job doesn't mean you're done. It's just the end of a chapter or a book. And the great thing is we're all writers of our destination. So, you know, just watch out. I've got some volumes, y'all. I've got volumes to this life. So stay tuned for what's next. Don't know yet, but there's so much more on the other side of this that I'm looking forward to sharing with you guys. See you guys later.